A lot more of a fun topic I wanted to go over here before I head out to the mall. Let's go over the Rocket Richard race. Yes, it is the race for the most goals in the NHL. And if you take a look at who exactly is leading the Rocket Richard race, oh, you're going to see a very interesting pattern here. So, without further ado, let's take a look at the early front runners for this trophy. And of course, this isn't set in stone or anything. There are other teams that have played fewer games, significantly fewer games for some. There are other players that are just returning that are looking to do really hot, like David Pastrnak, for example, who isn't on here because he only played 3 games. But when you take a look at the current NHL goal-scoring standings, they go as follows. First overall, it's Auston Matthews with 11 goals. Second, it's a 3-way tie between Tyler Toffoli, Brock Boeser, and Connor McDavid with 9 goals apiece. Then, 5th place, you have Josh Anderson, who is tied with Leon Draisaitl with 8. So it's kind of funny, seeing how the top 6 guys are all Canadian team players. 1 Maple Leaf, 2 Habs, 2 Oilers, and 1 Canuck. Now it's funny first and foremost because Connor McDavid has a hat trick against Vancouver, Tyler Toffoli has a hat trick against Vancouver, 8 of those goals came against Vancouver. Auston Matthews has multiple 2-goal games against Vancouver, and Brock Boeser plays for Vancouver. So it's kind of funny how all these teams kind of come out here and smoke Vancouver, and the guys who get all the goals are all of a sudden at the top of the league in goals. And again, of course, I don't want to make it seem like any of these guys are definitive locks to win the Rocket Richard. You take a look at who's right behind them. Christian Dvorak, Rantanen, Kyle Connor, Johnny Gaudreau, 7 goals apiece here. Of course, Dvorak and Rantanen playing for American teams. Kyle Connor, Johnny Gaudreau, again, Canadian teams up in here. However, it is a point to be made that yes, the Canadian division hasn't had any games cancelled yet, like a lot of American teams have had. Also, you have the fact that the defense for these Canadian teams is just so inferior to a lot of the other defense corps that we have seen in other teams in, let's just say, the United States. The Canadian division teams are all really poorly assembled defensively, aside from Montreal and maybe Winnipeg. I don't know about Winnipeg. But all the other teams, yeah, Edmonton, Toronto, Vancouver, you could make a very big debate, especially with Ottawa, that the defense core on all these teams are just kind of, you know, not great. So as a result, you have the good players in the Canadian team scoring a whole bunch of goals, and coming out of that is a very entertaining race for top of the entire NHL in goals, where the top 6 players, Matthews, Toffoli, Boeser, McDavid, Anderson, and Draisaitl, are all on Canadian teams. Now, Auston Matthews is the front runner right now. He's got a 2-goal lead on everybody else. David Pastrnak, the Richard winner from last year alongside of Alex Ovechkin, is indeed off to a really hot start, so I would not be surprised if he ended up putting himself somewhere in the top 10 once the season comes to an end. But really, you could make a good debate that any of these guys could come out here and eventually, you know, take over the reins and win. But for now, hey, I like seeing this. Auston Matthews with a chance to get his very first Maurice Richard trophy. Tyler Toffoli is in there. I don't know if it's sustainable that he gets so many goals. The Canucks don't play Montreal until, I think, the beginning of March, so Toffoli's going to have a long time to go before he ends up encountering the team that gives him the majority of his goals. Brock Boeser, for some reason, is still scoring goals, even though the team is absolutely garbage that he plays on. McDavid and Draisaitl, they haven't scored yet at the time of this recording in the Sens game, so we'll probably see as things go on. So, let me know in the comments what you think about this Rocket Richard race so far. Who do you think is going to win? Let me know in the comments. Hope you enjoyed this video. And bye.